Lazarus of Aristocracy London. Hi, this is great to see you.
Hello there, thank you very much for coming to our place.
So we're going to start with a simple question.
Yeah.
What was the defining moment or inspiration that led you to the creation of Aristocracy?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, the whole story started back in 2018. My background is in marketing and software engineering. So back in those years, I decided to mix, you know, my creativity that comes from the marketing background and my passion about suits, mix them all together and make this project, the Aristocracy London. And why is that? I love suits. I've been wearing suits, you know, I was going to events, in the office. And what I noticed back in these days was that everybody was wearing the same navy suits, you know, everybody was dressed up the same way. Doesn't matter if it was a wedding, if it was a business meeting, if it was a formal event, and you couldn't tell, you know, is this a bespoke suit, is this a, you know, a kind of a ready to wear. Everybody looked the same, so I thought, no, definitely there is some space there, and you know, men need to, you know, to dress up nicely depending on the occasion. So that's how the Aristocracy London came out. I think we were the first or the leaders in the UK that we introduced the narrow style suit with a bold design, some bold colors as well, without being too much flamboyant, introducing some of the embroideries as well. Of course, you know, the black tie attire, you know, the tuxedos, or the morning suits that are quite popular for formal occasions in the UK as well. So yeah, and I would call that, you know, the mission and the vision was to create this menswear fashion house, and something that was missing before.
Has this vision evolved over time, or is it the same from when you began the first time?
Well, of course, you know, and that's the key thing in business and in fashion as well. You always need to adapt. You need to adapt to the circumstances, to the trends, to the audience. And that's how I grew this business, by listening to our audience and of course listening to our team as well. I have to tell you that, you know, first year when we started, I was also doing appointments with the clients, and that was very important for me. Not of course, you know, the budgets were slightly lower during that time. You know, when you start a company, you need to make some savings and, you know, you start from scratch. And this is a self-funded company by myself. But the great thing was that I wanted to get involved into the appointments with the client, because that's how I was getting the feedback about the colors, about the designs, about the styles, and that helped us a lot. So to answer your question, when we started, yes, of course, we had some. We were testing the waters. We've done some different designs, but I've got to say that from our second collection already, by putting this kind of cravat, narrow style and tuxedo, and putting our mark as a formal wear, menswear fashion house, I think that caught the attention, that made us popular and known in the industry, and this is the kind of a direction that we have. So we were, I would say, proactive, lucky, you know, wise enough to have this kind of direction, and that was something that was missing.
Your clientele seem to expect more than just garments. There's an emphasis on identity, status, and occasion for your brand. So how do you balance tradition with modern expectations?
Yeah, well, I mean, with regards to our collection, you will see that there are, and that's how we present them to our clientele. There are three different styles, I would call them. Of course, you know, you can create as many different styles and outfits as you like, but if we say the way that they are, we've got the, you know, the business and lounge suits, which are the three-piece suits that you can wear with a tie, and this is something that you can wear, you know, in a business office setup. You can wear as a guest to a wedding. Then, in terms of your style game, one level higher, we have the tuxedos and the black tie, which are ideal for black tie events, parties, also weddings. And then the top of the top, as we say, we have the narrow or the cravat style of the suits, but they are very more for special occasions such as weddings. That's why for these particular suits we have like 90% of the clientele are grooms who are getting married. Special occasions such as birthday parties or some anniversaries. So yeah, what we're trying to do, and I think we're achieving quite well in terms of that, is that as a brand, our vision is we don't want to be seen like as a company that sells suits. we provide memories and experience. So the suit that you're getting from us, including, you know, the shirt, the shoes, everything, all of the accessories as well, that is to be worn on a particular day to create this kind of memories. It doesn't have to be always a wedding day, but on that day that you're going to wear, you will always remember that how amazing I look in that suit. And more likely, this particular garment is going to be one of the most expensive items that you're going to have in the wardrobe, and you're going to be very proud of having it and, you know, worn it in special occasions.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you choose your fabrics and your materials?
There's a combination of 3 different things in terms of fabrics, right? First thing, and this is something that we always offer to our clientele, is exclusivity. So any fabrics that we use are exclusively made for us. I know at the beginning when we started it was a little bit challenging going to the manufacturer saying you're going to do fabrics for us, because the first answer was, yeah, of course we can do it, but we require quantities. And when you're brand new, you know, it's, and I still remember those days, but it was not just down to me, to my, you know, I would say my vision to convince them and make them believe in our vision on what we do, and of course, you know, work together. So one of the key things is exclusivity, because that's what we would like to offer our clientele as well. Of course, the fabric is not everything in a suit, but it plays a major role into the outfit. The second thing is comfort. It's very important that you can offer something that is very comfortable, however, without compromising in terms of style. Because you might see that there have been some, you know, new technologies, new fabrics nowadays that they are very elastic, they're very, however, that gives a lot of the comfort, but in terms of your style game, they don't look as premium as the other ones, right? Yeah. So we had to, you know, make sure that we offer this kind of comfort without compromising in terms of the, you know, of the style. And that's why you might see we have the majority of our fabrics of our pret-a-porter collection is a wool viscose blend. So you have the wool which gives this luxury and also breathable, you know, sense. Also you have the viscose which gives the shininess, with some sort of a little bit of microfiber as well to blend well and make the suit last longer as well. Yeah. And the third element in terms of the fabrics is also, and that has in line with, you know, everything that we do has to do with the sustainability values. So we decided to go with fabrics that are in line with our sustainability values. That's why we do limited edition designs. So we are always very careful with the selection of the fabrics that we use, and always the products that we produce using those fabrics are already, they are not left as, you know, not sold, because they are limited edition and were quite popular. So I would say these are the 3 key, you know, elements for the fabrics.
And where do you manufacture?
In terms of the pret-a-porter collection, our manufacturing takes place in, everything is designed in London, and the manufacturing takes place in Turkey, where we use either Turkish or Italian fabrics. For our made-to-measure service, we have exclusive fabrics from Italian mills, and the manufacturing takes place in our workshops, either Italy or Europe.
Right, where in Europe?
And because you're coming from a Romanian, you know, media, yes, there is some parts in Romania that we use as well for our manufacturing. And I've got to say that you're doing very well. You've got, you know, a great history, and you've got great knowledge of the men's suit. Yeah,
that's great. Thank you. Made to measure versus ready to wear, what is the proportion of your business dedicated to bespoke or tailoring consultations?
Yeah, well, first of all, the brand started with a pret-a-porter collection. That's how we were established. And of course, that's what you start from a business perspective as well, something that will keep you going and keep you investing. So at the moment, because the made to measure is a kind of a new service that we launched January this year. So at the moment, the pret-a-porter versus the made to measure, I would say is something between 80 to 20, 80% pret-a-porter, 20% made to measure, 90-10, it depends, but we're at that level. Of course, we are not expecting the made to measure to overcome the pret-a-porter, simply because the pret-a-porter gives you the option of more designs. The made to measure is a kind of a more exclusive service, and we don't want to be seen like as a retail shop. or as a suit maker company. We are a fashion house, so our made-to-measure experience is also kind of a fashion design experience. That's why with our made-to-measure we have a fashion designer completing the appointment with the client, designing and sketching the suit. Of course, it's always the case that either they get someone who is in UK that they can get it delivered there, and then they make their own arrangements, and that's because of the at the moment exporting is a little bit difficult, and especially when buying a three-piece suit.
In terms of competition, there are many luxury men's warehouses. What differentiates you, not just in style, but like as a fashion house, except for the exclusivity that you have?
Yeah, actually our business model, and I think that's what makes Aristocracy London to be the leaders in what we do, is apart from the exclusivity, as you very well said, is the fact that we offer you an accessible luxury without being super expensive, without being in that category of super luxury. That means that our audience are people that, of course, they can afford to invest £1,000 for an outfit, but also people that even if they don't have, enough savings for that, they will, make this up. They will wait a couple of months until they, and this is something that we much appreciate. So our audience is quite mixed. It's, of course, people that, they have, suits of £1,000 in the wardrobe, but also, I would say another 50% of the audience, people that this is going to be the most expensive item, and perhaps some of them, made a big effort, to save money for this big experience and big, outfit. So that's why we appreciate that. So it's quite important.
How much would an outfit be from usually? What's the range from?
Well, it starts from because we do three-piece suits only, and that's because a suit is a piece of art, so it has to be a three-piece. That's why we don't sell separate. We don't sell a jacket separately. We don't. Although with the made-to-measure service, it's something that you can do, because with made-to-measure you can do everything that you like. It's designed for you. You decide what you want us to design. For the pret-a-porter, it's three-piece suits because a suit is a piece of art. It has to be three-piece. And then you decide, depending on the occasion, how you're going to wear it and how you're going to style it. Could be just a jacket with the trousers. Could be a warm day that you don't really need to wear the jacket, but you can go with a waistcoat only, like, say, as I'm doing today. So we do like three-piece suits. The pricing starts from £595 for a basic and business and lounge three-piece suit, and can go up to £945. And that includes a three-piece. And the top range, they also include either a free matching cravat, or if it is a tuxedo, a free matching bow tie as well. So as you see, apart from the exclusivity, another unique selling point is that you can get something done, either available immediately or within 10 working days if you need any alterations, and that's for the pret-a-porter collection. You can get it immediately without breaking the bank. So this is something that I believe that the clientele really appreciate, and something that make us where we are at the moment.
You also did you do it from the start? You also do shoes and accessories?
Yes. The key driver is the suits, of course, but everything else has been designed having the suits, the fabrics, and the colors in mind. So for every particular suit that the client will decide to go for, then we have all of the appropriate outfits. So the shoes, the shirts, bow ties, pocket watches, all sorts of different accessories. And then what we also recommend, and many clients do, is they go for one particular suit, and with the same suit, by purchasing different accessories, they can create two different outfits for the day. So for example, let's say it's your wedding, you come with you purchase a nice Nehru collar cravat suit. So you can wear this for the ceremony, and then for the reception and the party, you can remove the jacket and the cravat. You can buy a separate bow tie. You can buy some braces as well, or a cummerbund, and you can create it a more kind of a black tie outfit later on. So with one suit, you can create different outfits.
That's great. What is the biggest challenge that you face right now?
I would say it's not. In terms of challenges, and it's not a challenge that I face right now, it's a challenge that I believe every person who is, every entrepreneur or every person who is involved and has a fashion brand, is a challenge that they have. And you know what is that? And that was the challenge that I faced at the beginning, and it's something that you need to make sure that you're very careful, because there is a very thin line and you can lose it. The challenge is that there's many brands nowadays, fashion brands, that they're inspired, or they're founded, they started by a person who is very fashion design orientated, very creative. However, there is the business element that is missing. And unfortunately, these brands, some of them fail to continue.
Yeah.
On the other side, you have also the other brands that are people who have money to invest, or people that they like to be in fashion because there's nice people, nice events. However, they are not very well experienced in terms of fashion designs and creativity. So their business decisions are made based on revenues, based on profits, and not based on creativity as well. And these also have a similar, direction, or a similar ending as the other one. So the challenge is you need to make sure that you keep the balance. Of course, you need to be a good entrepreneur, you need to understand business, but also you need to understand fashion and design. So that's a kind of a challenge that you need to keep to make it work, to give a kind of a great, complex of things.
Are you planning on entering new markets?
Yes, good question, and thanks for asking this. Of course, it's something that hasn't been announced yet. I won't be able to reveal location, but at the moment we are in a kind of a growth phase, and very soon we're going to have our premises, including both the showroom and the atelier, so that we will serve both the pret-a-porter and the made-to-measure collection, and that would be in a different city in UK as well.
Okay.
So we have, our audience that are all over the country, so we definitely need to, expand and be very close to them to offer this kind of service.
That's great.
Yeah.
Where do you see aristocracy going on from now to 5 years or 10 years?
Yeah, well, I hope that, after 5-10 years, my hair will still be the same color, not more gray. But definitely, we want to establish ourselves as the leaders as a menswear fashion house in UK, and definitely we're thinking expanding abroad. Of course, this is some initial thoughts. Again, as I said, this is a company founded by myself, having a great team and running things together. This is the kind of the current vision that I have at the moment, but of course, we need to see how things are going to progress, one step at a time. And as I like to say, Rome wasn't built in one day.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time, but if you make sure that you make the right decisions, I think you're going to succeed. So we're in a growth phase, and be very carefully deciding about our next moves.
That's great. Thank you so much.